Hi there. I am here with Gresham Harkless. He is the owner and CEO of Blue 16 Media and CBNation. And being the boomer that I am, I needed a lot of background information on what exactly he does, and he did a great job explaining to me. So he's going to share his story today. Hey, Gresham.
Hey Doreen, it's great to be on the show.
Thanks so much. I know you're really busy during this time. Um, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your business, what you do, and how you serve clients?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I definitely appreciate, everything that you're doing. I think so many times, small businesses and entrepreneurs are trying to get their name out there and to be found. So it's great, that you have this platform, this opportunity to kind of help out so many people in terms of doing that. But for me, I'm definitely a local kid. I'm from the area, so I grew up in Woodbridge. I went to school in DC, and I'm actually recording this from now where I live in Alexandria. So I've definitely been around this area, and for me, I always kind of knew that I wanted to start a business, didn't necessarily know what I wanted to start. And even to be very honest, what entrepreneurship and running a business even was. So after I graduated, I went to Howard for my undergrad and Georgetown for my master's. I basically would do a lot of freelance writing because writing was always and still always is something that I'm really passionate about. So I used to go to local businesses and find out why they started their business, what advice they might have for entrepreneurs and business owners, people that might want to start businesses. And one thing led to another, and I was out playing basketball or trying to play basketball, I should say, and I actually tore my Achilles tendon. So I was stuck in bed, not really happy about what happened, or really happy about much during that time. But it was then that I started to find a different way to kind of do a lot of the interviews, because I still love doing them, still love to connect with people. So I started doing like email interviews. This is probably before this Zoom software and all the awesome things that we have at our disposal now. But at the heart of it, what I started to see is that when you give people an opportunity to talk about their business, what it is that they do, they start to kind of spread out that information. And I felt like I was really doing a really good service, for that. And then fast forward a couple years, understanding like the types of businesses, what people were doing, I started to see, honestly, not even from myself. I met somebody in a networking group that I used to always walk in and talk about somebody's website if I was ever, trying to connect with them, and not seeing that was even a value. It was by meeting that person that was in a networking group that really helped me to kind of see like the zone of genius that I had was a value to anybody else. So I would basically just say, hey, this isn't set up on your website. You should try to change that, and not even realizing that my tech skills, or some people might call it geekdom, was really a value until I got into that room with the other business owners. So about 8 years ago to this day, I started what is now Blue 16 Media, and those interviews and all that content that I used to create is now kind of under the umbrella of CBNation, which you talked about. But that's kind of in a nutshell of what kind of led me to start the business, and how exactly that interest in entrepreneurship kind of bled into what is now the digital marketing company I have.
Oh, wow. Wow. So it was born out of passion, which is what most successful businesses, a genuine interest and a genuine passion for whatever it is that you're doing. And having a knack for it probably
Helps
helps
out
it.
a little bit.
I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. So talk about what type of services you offer to businesses.
Yeah, so for Blue 16 Media, we focus on web design and SEO primarily. So the idea is that when you build a website, a lot of people don't realize that when you build it, people won't come. You have to actually market it. You have to do things to drive people, to your website and whatever it is that you do. And one of those ways that you can do that is through SEO. And SEO stands for search engine optimization, which basically means when you're Googling something, you're trying to figure out the latest restaurant that's near you that serves pizza. You might go to pizza in Alexandria or pizza in Springfield, and you might be looking for that latest place. There's things that you can do to your website to help it to rank higher higher on search engines. So we basically help out with a lot of those behind the scenes things that need to be done to kind of increase the rankings for these businesses and organizations. And so that's one of the ways that you get people to come to your website, because you're basically where they are when people are searching for their services. And I say this so many times that I say the name of the game is visibility. The name of the game is being found. So if you're able to quote unquote translate your site, translate what you do for search engines so that they can feed your website in the correct places to where people are searching for, that gives you a tremendous opportunity to drive those clients and customers and that revenue into the business.
That makes so much sense now.
Yes.
To me.
Yes.
Yes, it does. Can you talk about a particular success story or a favorite client or, a feel-good story for us?
Yes, absolutely. So I actually have a local businesses. They do kind of national soccer camps across the United States. And one of the things, and it seems to be the people that I think I work best with have actually probably unfortunately had a bad experience in the past. And I think sometimes what happens when they are not necessarily working with you, they start to understand some of the things that you're talking about and some of the things that you're kind of preaching about doing and why that's so important about and you start to understand why you're looking for people that are communicating. So for that organization, they weren't able to do kind of simple things on their website because they're doing kind of national soccer camps all across the world. And those times and locations were constantly changing. They weren't able to get into their website to do a lot of the updates. So they had to go through the developer to be able to make those updates. And the bad thing about that is because those things were changing so often, the developer also wasn't really doing a great job of communicating either. So there was a lot of kind of gaps between that. So what we basically did was we rebuilt a website. We rebuilt that website so that not only was it more, mobile friendly, did it engage more, did it drive more traffic, but it also provided that opportunity for the client to actually understand exactly how to do those updates themselves. So the goal that we always have is we can, help out in so many different ways. We can literally do all the updates ourselves. We can teach clients how to do the updates or whatever kind of works in the middle of those. And that was one of the success stories, because not only were we able to build the website, but we were able to equip the client with the ability to be able to make some of those updates and those constant changes that needed to be done. It wasn't something that was created like we just do this, so figure out how to use it. We kind of got an idea of exactly what they were looking for, how they work, what would fit well for them. And then we kind of created that site around there. But definitely that's probably what I'm really big on, is trying to translate and help people to understand exactly what we're doing and over communicating so that people can have that success, but also know exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it to make sure it's in alignment with what they want and also what we're hoping to achieve.
That's amazing. And I could see, as a former teacher, that is such an important component to everyone's success in business. Is you can do something for someone, but if you kind of give them a background and give them, maybe empower them to do it themselves a little bit, or participate anyway, that's amazing. I can see how your clients would love that aspect and love to work with you for that. What's your biggest challenge in your business?
I think the biggest challenge, I think most businesses are trying to get their name out as much as possible. And I think that with, everything that's happening now and, the constant changes in technology, it's always about increasing your visibility, getting to the right clients and in the right space. And we touched a little bit on, CBNation and why I created that. One of the big reasons is I feel like the best way to be of value in to serve your clients is to provide them something that they're looking for. That's kind of like the goal of, CBNation, is really to help, business owners be more successful, because we work with business owners. So we do that in so many different ways, by providing, blogs and videos and podcast content. But at the heart of it, I think that's really what we want to continue to do better, to continue to understand how we connect with that target market. But I think visibility is something that, you always have to continue to work on. It's not one of those things that you kind of do once and then you're completely done with it. You always want to make sure that you're doing that, on a regular basis. And then that's one of the things that we try to do is we try to provide, that opportunity to serve our clients by providing them hopefully content that helps make them more successful.
So, and you work with both small businesses and big companies as well.
Correct. Yeah, we work with both small, medium-sized, and larger companies and organizations as well too, because I think that we're kind of malleable in the sense that we can fit in wherever it needs to kind of be served. So sometimes these smaller organizations, they may not have the kind of team to be able to do all of the things, whereas a larger organization might have some of those things in place and they just need kind of somebody to take care of, not to get too technical, but the backlinking and those technical aspects of SEO that we can kind of direct the rest of their team to do certain things. But it just kind of helps that we're able to kind of be flexible enough to where we can fit in wherever needs be.
Wow. That's like I said, it makes it a little clearer to someone like me. You're doing an amazing job. And talk about during this pandemic, what are the types of things that you're doing to adapt or assist and whatnot? I know we spoke a little bit about that earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is obviously an unprecedented time. It's one of those things where it's not just hitting a state or a region or even a country. It's literally impacting the entire world, and definitely my heart goes out to everybody who's been affected, because it can be a difficult time for sure. And I think that one of the things that we try to do is provide kind of like I call them strategy sessions, but really what it gets to the heart of is really kicking the tires on different ways that you may not realize, and I mean you as far as who's listening or paying attention and watching this, to how you can maybe pivot your business. And I think sometimes we don't realize how awesome we are through our organization and what it is that we do and the services we provide. And even though we can't provide that service in exactly the same way during a time like a pandemic or sometimes, economic, downturns that happen, it's important to kind of maybe be able to have that conversation with somebody else to figure out how, for one, you can pivot your business, but for two, you can even get your name and your information out there. So that could be anything as far as like, getting on podcasts, from creating a YouTube channel, for even starting your own podcast, from guest blogging. So there's so many different ways, but I think at the heart of what we try to do is we try to get clear on, the goal that you have. We try to get clear on the resources that you have at your disposal and what exactly success looks like. And I think once you figure out those things and who you're trying to target, you get to figure out how maybe you can shift your strategy so that you can help, meet those people where they are, as I like to say. So if you understand, like, most of the people that were listening to maybe the podcast that you try to reach out to are not commuting anymore. So maybe you have to understand and figure out or kick the tires on what exactly they're doing. And I just try to create some opportunities for people to kind of figure out how best they can potentially test out things and leverage those things that maybe they didn't consider to help them to succeed in what is this different world and what may end up being this new world.
Oh, I agree. It'll probably be a new world in a whole different way. And sometimes I think, especially small business owners, don't know how to get the word out there, or what are the tools available to them to pivot their business during this time. So just getting the word out there in an effective manner is very helpful to small businesses. So, Gresham, I really appreciate that you took the time. I know you're very busy during this craziness, but thanks so much for taking the time to talk with me and to tell everybody about yourself and about your business. And what's your website? I'll post it, but tell me the best way to get in touch with you.
Yes, absolutely. So I have a site that has kind of like a landing page to everything that we do, and it's iamgresh.com. But you can go directly to blue16media.com or cbnation.co. And that'll link through everything, that we're doing. But I truly appreciate you for having me on the show. I know you're also, super busy and doing a lot of things as well too. And I think that you are a case in point about people that are trying to serve their audience and trying to get the name out there and trying to be helpful. And I think those people, in my opinion, win all the time, because it's not necessarily expecting something back, but it's just giving an opportunity and giving the best of yourself and as best you can. And I think if people remember that and follow through with that, then it will lead to success.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Well, you take care, stay well in your little studio.
Yes, you do the same.
I will be in touch soon. Okay.
All right. Take care.
Thanks.